Hello, this is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. So happy to be joined today by Sean Matthews, who is President and CEO of Visix. The topic of conversation is, of course, InfoComm 2023, which everyone is incredibly excited about, just a couple of weeks away. And Commercial Integrator will be there in force. Visix will be there in force. So now is a perfect time for us to connect with Sean and get his insights about what he's most excited about as regards the show, what Visix is going to be showcasing, what his sense is of how robust the show is going to be, etc. So it's a perfect time for us to chat. Sean, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
So Visix will be at InfoComm exhibiting at booth 2942. I know that I'm going to be checking it out. Can't wait. Let's start, though, with kind of a top-level overview, Sean. We had a number of years where trade shows were suffering because of COVID. People were, it was either a mix or a hybrid kind of an event, or people weren't fully engaging. It feels like we're past that now. People are fully engaging, looking forward to that face-to-face, traditional in-person trade show experience. Do you want to talk a little bit about the value that provides to Visix, that the value that provides to you to connect with partners, clients, customers, in person, face-to-face in Orlando?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, so Visix has been a long-time staunch supporter of the AV integration channel. And, it goes back 40 years. The company's been around that long. So, we've been at InfoComm and its precursor almost since the beginning. And, for us, the past several years actually have been quite challenging as it relates to connecting with integration partners and having them involved in the integration process, particularly the specification and deployment of digital signage. And, as we all know, a lot of institutions shut down, whether it was corporate campus, college campus, et cetera, where our technologies are commonly used. And so, we're just now getting back to a point where, more than 60% of our transactions are being generated by the AV channel. There are other channels out there for us as well, but, we're back to a 60% number, which, for us is a godsend in terms of, opportunities being brought forward to us. So, the show itself is the best opportunity for us to get in front of our AV partners and other channel partners that are ancillary to that space. And for us this year, we're incredibly excited about being there, just because it's been a tough few years, from a trade show and connectivity perspective.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I feel the same excitement that you do, however, that I think we're largely either fully or getting past that. We're getting back to the sweet spot, as it were. And I know that gives Visix an opportunity to shine, gives your channel centricity an opportunity to shine. But let's talk about what you're most stoked to be showcasing at InfoComm. I know you probably can't tell me everything you're going to be doing. There has to be some suspense for people to check out at booth 2942. But you want to give me a sense of what you'll be showcasing, what you'll be talking about, what you're excited to tell your integrator partners, your channel partners about?
Yeah, so we're actually introducing 3 new technologies for us this year. First and foremost, support for the BrightSign media player. We're probably the last group in this industry at large to have a Windows-only player and that be our only offering. So for us to be able to support an appliance that basically has become ubiquitous with the AV channel, that's actually a pretty big deal for us, just because we waited a long time to get to this point. Second, we're introducing, it doesn't seem very spectacular on the surface, but the conversation around this technology is quite popular at this point, which is a very small electronic paper sign. It's an EPS 42, which means it has a 4.2-inch diagonal surface, which doesn't sound very exciting, but I'll say this. In the first quarter of this year, we sold more electronic paper signs than we did in the previous 12 months. The technology is taking off dramatically, simply because, in the world of commercial real estate, a lot of companies are rethinking, the work from home, remote work, hybrid workspace model that they're employing. And the reality is that when we look at what's happening with the commercial lease market space, those changes are slowly occurring, where those leases are coming up for renewal. Those tenants are rethinking the space and how they're going to use it. And we see a lot of hoteling and hot desk requirements in the market space. And it's definitely propelling a lot of room sign transactions. But the thing that we're most excited about is a technology that we just filed a patent for, which is our first patent application at Visix. And this is a technology that we've been working on for quite some time. We expect it to be extremely disruptive in the room sign space, simply because room signs have been around for 15, 16 years, and everybody's been doing it the same exact way. This is a very disruptive approach to how to utilize the hot desk environment and or walk-up bookings or walk-up reservations. And we've spent a fair amount of time developing an augmented reality approach where the user simply walks up and opens their camera, scans a QR code or taps an NFC tag, and they get all of the features and functionality of an electronic room sign in the palm of their hand in their own device. So it's an extremely disruptive approach. It does not require the utilization of an app. So there's nothing to download. There's nothing to configure. It literally is just use your camera to book the room. And so we're actually quite excited about that because it is a disruptive approach to what's been a standard approach, either with a room sign or an app. And now we've eliminated both of those with a single technology.
That is absolutely very exciting. And the streamlining and the simplicity very much seems to align with the zeitgeist of the moment. People want that ease of use, that native functionality. Just let me work with it in a way that is intuitive to me and easy for me with as few barriers as possible. The one thing I want to close with, you talked a little bit about, for example, the hoteling trend, the hot desking trend, and then what I was just mentioning, kind of that simplicity and how your products lean into that. Knowing that Visix is so grounded in the channel, you've been going to InfoComm for years, you really know this industry inside and out. What trends do you have your eyes on, apart from what we've already talked about, that you are leaning into as an organization? I think Visix is kind of uniquely positioned to opine on what the leading indicators and trends in the industry are, because you are so well grounded in the channel and in the industry. I think you have a unique perspective in that regard.
Yeah, I think that the trend that we're seeing right now, of course, is really getting back to the focus of integration in the market space at large, like actually integrating in, structured environments versus, selling these sort of commodities in mass volume, right? We saw a lot of that was occurring certainly during the pandemic, whether it be cameras and ring lights and all that kind of audio support, that sort of almost consumer-like technologies. And now what we're seeing from our integration partners is them coming back and having very consultative conversations with both us and potential clients about what it is that they're doing next and how they're going to best utilize that space. So just from an operational trend perspective, we're seeing a lot more of that consultative behavior, which was more like the pre-pandemic environment.
And I think that consultative behavior is so important because, as you say, there's always the risk of essentially an integrator becoming a commodity vendor. And I've always heard, and the thought leaders I listen to say, that integrators do best when they sell what's between their ears, their knowledge, their expertise, the things that you can't buy off Amazon or can't buy off Best Buy. And it seems like I agree with you that people are leaning into that as an industry community. I think it redounds to the benefit of all of us, and it kind of paves a path for us to continue to have strong, resilient businesses up and down across economic environments. Is that how you feel, Sean?
Yes, I agree 100%. We're seeing that across the board, this sort of rebounding of delivering consultative knowledge.
Well, thank you so much, Sean, for taking some time to inform me and, much more importantly, Commercial Integrators audience today. I'm looking forward to stopping by the Visix booth in Orlando at InfoComm booth 2942. I look forward to seeing you there. And once again, thank you for informing our audience about the trends that you have your eye on and how Visix is so strongly leaning into them.
Great. Thank you, Dan.
So happy to have been joined by Sean Matthews, President and CEO of Visix. As I say, Visix will be at booth 2942 at InfoComm. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. Please check back on commercialintegrator.com throughout the run-up to the show, as well as during the show and afterward for more exciting thought leadership content from respected industry observers, just like Sean. Thanks.